Man.
You guys get closer if you want to see. You can get up closer because there's no seats right here.
Very good. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna go this way. It's supposed to be audio because again, I can't really. I'm not.
How are we doing today?
Okay.
What have y'all been growing a lot of this year?
Good.
What have y'all been growing a lot of this year?
Very good.
It's still kind of early. We haven't harvested yet.
Going in a little late with some stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well,
I thought about doing something real simple today because it's been so hot lately. We've been selling a lot of salads at the restaurant. I've been getting a ton of lettuces from out of here from Maggie. And she's been providing us with some of the best lettuce mix that we've been getting out of the whole city lately. So I thought we could do something really simple. 2 different vinaigrettes. I wanted to do a nice salted herb vinaigrette, and then I thought we would do a real simple, like a honey mustard essentially, and show you how that works with different kind of lettuces and different kinds of herbs. Right? We've all got a lot of herbs and lettuces right now. So these boxes, these are what we call our tuna boxes, if you will. Our herb boxes. Does anybody know what herb that is?
Chives.
Simple, right? How about this one?
Cilantro.
Parsley. Flat leaf parsley.
Parsley?
How about this guy? A little trickier.
No idea. That looks like sage to me. I don't know.
Oh, it's tarragon. You nailed it.
I have no idea.
Simple.
Basil.
Yep.
That's basil? Oh.
Close. Oregano.
Oregano.
So these herbs are some of the most plentiful things that we see in the gardens back at the restaurant, but also some of the most plentiful things that we grow out in this region anyways, right? So I'm going to start blasting up a little bit of these herbs, and I want you all to think about what makes an herb flavorful, right? First of all, when you're using chives, we always like to, after we harvest them, wrap the base in wet paper towel. But then before you start going and cutting them up, you kind of want to dig through here and make sure you're getting all the yellow ones out. They're starting to go downhill a little bit, even like that little bit of yellow. And once we start cutting, if you chop that in with the mix of all the other fresh, beautiful chives, it's going to make the whole batch go south. So we want to get all that crap out there first. So, how many people we got here today? Like 20?
I'd say.
10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20.
Because I don't have permission to film anyone else, so I was just film myself reacting to
So, a big part of how herbs make our food flavorful is a lot of the juices inside of the herbs.
Yes.
So just cutting them up simply is not enough, I don't feel. When I have chives, I like to hack them in half and then stack them all together.
Okay.
Easy. Oop. Renegade. Yeah. So the way I like to do it is get a nice, easy, even stack, hack them up, and I think I may have gone through this last year. Didn't we do eggplant last year? Garlic and grilled eggplant. They got hailed out real nice. Yeah. So similar to the garlic, how we get that flavor out of the garlic, we want to do something similar to the herbs. Take some real coarse salt, just drop it on there, and you want to you want to explode the walls of the cells of this herb, right? To get all that awesome juice out.
Squishing it.
So just chopping it, I don't feel is enough. So I like to use the side of my knife and just kind of work it until it's starting to give off some of those awesome green juices there. You're making essentially a paste, right? So don't have to get too crazy with it, just crazy enough. So that's the thing, you're going to start to see, you'll get a lot more of the aroma out of them as soon as you add that salt and just kind of blow it apart, you know? If you just cut those chives and they just float around in the vinaigrette, you're really not getting that flavor until you bite down on that chive. And then your teeth are exploding the cell walls, right? Like juicing it a little bit. So we're going to go a little bit of parsley in here.
Parsley.
Probably about that much. I don't measure much. Not really good with recipes. I'm good following them, I'm just not good writing them. So once again, we got our parsley there. We want a little bit of tarragon in this.
Tarragon.
Mostly, like, I like to use this vinaigrette just salted herb vinaigrette and keep it really general. Whatever we've got coming out of the garden, those are the herbs we're going to use. You know what I mean? If it's oregano one day, okay, fine, it's oregano. If it's tarragon, so be it. So tarragon's a really strong herb. You saw the piles of chives I used, pile of parsley. I'm only going to use about that much tarragon. Even for this many people, it's a very overpowering herb, right? It's got a lot of licorice flavors to it. Here, pass that way and get a good smell on that thing. Now, especially because I didn't pour it, I didn't cut it, I just broke it off of there. So once again, you're going to get a lot more of that aroma coming out of it because those leaves are bruised a little bit.
Just really, yeah.
So get a nice even rough chop here.
That was basic.
And now just to make sure that we're not going to go crazy with over salting everything, I'll throw that chives back on top here because I already got a little bit of salt going in there. Just give a little bit extra. I'm just using kosher salt. I got 3 different salts with me today. I've got a kosher salt right here. That's called a real salt. That's mined out of Idaho, and they leave all the trace minerals in there. That's why it's got that nice color to it. And then this is a black volcanic salt. Look at those flakes, they're huge. And that's from the island of Cyprus off the coast of Greece. And it's when the lava comes down from the top of the volcano and hits the ocean water, blows up all this steam. And what's left behind is sea salt and then that black pumice from the lava. Pretty interesting.
Wow.
Check out those big flakes though. Here, actually, y'all should pass that around or just come up here and grab a little piece of it. So, we're getting these herbs going.
Yeah,
And I was going to throw a little bit of basil in here because we have a lot of basil right now. However, basil and tarragon can sometimes work together in a really, really powerful way. Because basil has a little bit of a licorice flavor to it too. Tarragon has a real licorice flavor to it. You start getting crazy with both of those, and you're going to have some issues. So I got these herbs salted, bruised, chopped.
Lava salt.
Oh, that black salt?
Yeah, dude.
It's got real intense flavor, doesn't it?
That's some weird stuff. Man, that's wow. Not exactly a fan. For my windy sea salt.
In a lot of ways.
So yeah. My windy sea salt mix. With fries, with fresh village fries.
That's the stuff, man. That's the black salt. Do you have any videos? Not really. Not really. I don't do that a lot. I'm busy. I'm running around instead of taking pictures and stuff. I'm actually whip out a phone, get a video of this thing. So what we got next going in here, I got my salted herbs in there. I've got a little bit of roasted garlic. Raw garlic works just fine as well. We just had a bunch of it at the shop, so I grabbed some. And I'm just going to throw some cloves in there.
Cloves.
Because roasted garlic is basically garlic that's either been thrown in the oven as a whole clove and then squeezed out, right? Or this, we actually take these cloves and just bury them in vegetable oil and then put them in the oven for about 300 degrees for about 45 minutes. And they get real soft where you can just smash them with your fingers. They also get sweet. So it's not like that super, super strong pungent garlic like we had on the eggplant last year. So see, I can just take a whisk and just kind of push that stuff and it'll mash up real nicely. So the key to this is, obviously there's a lot of other things to do and prepare to make a really good salad, right? What do you need for a really good salad? Great greens. What else?
Eggs.
Eggs is good, yeah. Tomatoes, cool. Basically what I'm looking for is here, variety of texture, right? So if you have really, really crunchy greens and color. If you have really, really crunchy greens, what do you need? Something soft, something smooth, something easy to go on that, right? Well, if you have really delicate, like hydroponic lettuces or something like that without a lot of crunch, well then you're going to need to add some crunch to that. Either some nuts, maybe some radishes, maybe some toast points, like some croutons, stuff like that, sunflower seeds, whatever. So as we're going to start bringing all that other stuff together, now that we have a nice paste of this roasted garlic and herbs, I want to get my acid on here, which I'm using cider vinegar for this.
Cider vinegar.
And the ratio for a good vinaigrette is 3 parts acid to 1 part, or I'm sorry, 3 parts oil to 1 part acid. So however much acid you're putting in there, be that lemon juice, be it vinegar, even a little bit of white wine, whatever, you want basically 3 times that volume of oil to make a really nice consistent vinaigrette. So I want to get this stuff all combined here so that it can sit and these flavors can start to marry. Now when we talk about putting oil into a vinaigrette, we all know that oil and water do not mix, right? You can see motor oil sits on the top of a puddle the same way as olive oil sits on the top of a boiling pot of water, right?
Alright.
So we have a little trick for that in the kitchen, and it's called an emulsifier. So there's 2 different types of emulsifiers that we use in the kitchen. We use mustard, which I got right here, and we also use egg yolks. Egg yolks can break apart and allow that oil to integrate and mix with all of that other liquid. So I'm going to use mustard today just because it's a lot easier, and because we're outside at room temperature, which is fairly warm room temperature. The egg yolk has a tendency, even though it's incredibly sterile when it comes out of the egg, if it's sitting in this hot temperature for a while, we don't want any issues. So I got a little bit of that, and now I got some honey for a little bit of sweetness in here. The fact that we're doing a salted herb vinaigrette, I want it to taste like salt and herbs, right? So we don't want to go throwing a ton of other stuff, maple syrup, ketchup, all kinds of other stuff in here, right? We want to keep it really, really consolidated and identify that flavor that you're trying to capture the most out of everything, right? And just go with it. Let that one thing be the thing that people taste when they're eating this. You don't want to have to explain to them what kind of flavors are in this dish. They should be appreciating it as they're eating it. So I'll get my honey in there. Now, I need a volunteer. Who's it? Boom, bring it. Alright, here you go. You want to pour or mix? Mix. Now you got to mix fast, right? And when you're mixing, I like to tilt the bowl up on the side a little bit. And then, yep, just like that. And you're going to basically, you're trying to incorporate this oil plus air into that mixture, right? Without the air, without that, this will not mix. So we got our mustard in there. So you just keep whisking right there. And it's really important to pour in very small streams, very delicately. If I dump this whole thing in there, no matter how many egg yolks, no matter how much mustard you got in there, that is not coming together, man. Because as we said, it's all about the air. So that's why you're using a whisk instead of a spoon to try and make a vinaigrette. And vinaigrette is just salad dressing, that's all it is. Or it can be sauce for a fish or a grilled steak or something like that. So all these little times, let's take a break and talk about something for a second. As this is happening, oh, you don't go anywhere. I'm not doing this by myself. All these different little times on this whisk, every time that they streak through that vinaigrette, it's opening it up to air and oil. If I was just using like a wooden spoon, I only have one surface, one stick that's going through there, and then I'm just stirring the pot. This, I'm actually disturbing all of this surface area every time that goes around. But keep rocking, we're not there yet.
That's how they go.
See, I'm like pouring a little bit, and I'm watching how much oil sits on the top of there, and then I'll give her a second to kind of get it going.
I need to eat. Break us, man. Let's come already. So, yeah, after this, I'm gonna eat it. Gotta eat me some stuff. I think a sandwich and a chip. I think it'll be a sandwich and a chip.
We're getting there. So
Sandwich
I'm
and chip.
tasting as we go through and make these things, because I'm kind of getting a feel for where we at. Is it really acidic? Does it need sugar? Does it need salt? But also what I'm looking for is balance between the oil and the acid. If it's real tangy, your arm wearing out yet? Good. Way to go. I'm looking for balance. So if it's super bright and really tangy, I know it needs more oil so that it can coat my tongue a little bit better and then round out the flavor. Almost there.
Well, how do you do that? Now you take you got her stirring. How do you do that by yourself?
How do you do it by yourself? Great question. I'm glad you asked it.
Beg your pardon?
I'm glad you asked that question. This is what I like to do at home. Take a towel, wind it like that, put a little circle right in the middle. Yeah, snap somebody right in the ass. And I just do that, right? So you got a towel that you just wind up, put in a little circle, and then I've got this nice little area here. When I'm doing a vinaigrette by myself at home, this is basically what I'm doing. If I can't wrangle up one of my kids to mix the thing, you know? Usually I can't. Yeah, give that a stir a little minute here.
Let us drink.
Just wave it through there and lift the back of that spoon and see if you got a good flavor. What do you think? More oil? No? Like it? I like it. Good. So we've got, let's throw it right in there. We got cider vinegar rather, herbs, salt, olive oil, a little bit of roasted garlic, touch of onion, touch of mustard. Very, very simple. Anything that you cook up is going to have the same ratio, roughly. 1 part, what is it? Nobody?
Acid.
Acid. 3 parts
Vinegar. Oil. Vinegar's an acid.
You can make it a little lighter,
Vinegar's an acid.
depending on what you want to do with it. We also will adjust that depending on the texture of the lettuce. If you have a ton of really, really fine small greens, baby lettuces, you're going to want a much lighter vinaigrette that doesn't coat as much, right? Let me show you something. So, as you can see this, I'll teach you another culinary term here. This is called nap. And nap is how much something clings to the back of the spoon. See how it's doing that? So you wave that through a spoon, and it's coating it really nice and evenly, right? That's doing the same thing to your lettuce. So the finer the lettuce, the less you want this to cling. The burlier the lettuce, like big whole heads of romaine, you want to have a pretty tight vinaigrette so that can really stick on there and give you a lot of extra flavor. Cool. All right. Now we're going to let this sit and come together because all those aromatics in there, that takes time for that stuff to work itself into the oil, into that mixture, right? All those herbs, all that salt, all that garlic. While we do that, we're going to hack up some stuff to go into this salad. Got some cubes already.
I might have to.
Nice. Some radishes just came out this morning.
It just never was important.
And what we were talking about is, ooh, I'm going to pass around some lettuce. What do you got there?
It's inevitable that I go. It's important that I go for the greater good.
So these are the greens we've been using lately. Totally awesome mix, except for that one. But you can kind of come up and check it out. There's a mixture of baby kales in there. I know we got a bunch of it from here.
Yeah.
So as we dig through, this is the kind of stuff that we're always looking for, like, hey, get that out of the lettuce, right? Kind of looking at leaves like that. But it never, ever, ever ends. Because lettuce is alive, and as soon as we harvest it, it is now dead, so it starts to decompose. So I'm always on people to be picking through their lettuce mix and make sure it's good to go for service. By that, I mean, as well for the texture of this, is we're looking at these different qualities of lettuce. Look at how fine and easy and smooth that leaf is compared to this guy, or compared to that dude. These are going to grab a whole lot more dressing than this, right? You see all the water on that lettuce? That's going to cause the vinaigrette to run off of it. But you look at something like this, there's a lot of little nooks
Baby
and crannies, and
kales.
it's just going to grab that sauce and soak it up.
Baby kales,
So that being
yeah.
said, you don't really want to make a salad exclusively out of this stuff, nor do you want to make a salad exclusively out of this stuff. So, you know, mixing it up gives us a variety of textures, and it also gives us a variety of colors, right? You eat with your eyes first. Simple. So we're going to hack up a little bit of these radishes. I like them pretty rough.
Cut up the radishes.
Yeah. Pretty small, huh? Everybody, you know, we got real hot in the hoop houses, so all the radishes started to want to go to seed real fast, even though some of them were not full size yet. So Okay, just get it on. Make it happen. Who's good with knives? You good with knives? Here, come on over here.
Oh boy.
You got mildly clean.
Nice.
You might teach you some little bit of skills.
Just get these radishes. You're just going to take them, half them like that, and then just in pieces like that. Handle it?
Here you go.
It's very super sharp.
Oh, nice.
Give him some sanitizer. We got some sanitizer over here.
Those are very super sharp, man. Launch yourself.
Alright, so you can hack up some radishes, and then as you're done with them, throw them right back into this container. All the tails, throw them right on the ground. So while we got this vinaigrette going, we got a salted vinaigrette, right?
Okay, alright.
We got a salted. Yeah, wrap it up. Wrap them up. Don't touch your fingers on. Yeah, we got some good stuff.
You don't want that. You don't want that.
So we got one vinaigrette done, right? I wanted to make another one that y'all could appreciate. And I thought about using some olives in there. Olives got a real nice salt to them, right? So I was going to do a
We should get something sandwich with no meat.
Keep it real simple, okay? Alright. Until
So it's
we're
a Subway sandwich with no meat. So it's good.
not till you can stop eating it.
Man,
Just so it can
I will miss that view.
so it doesn't go down.
But for the greater good, I must
Nice.
say goodbye to it. At least for a little bit.
Alright.
At least
Get a little bit of
that's a
olive.
joke.
Beat up in a bowl here. Can you hand me that bowl right there? The medium one in the
Soon, of
middle?
course, I will. I know, of course, I'm going to be going down there. Still, we're going somewhere else
Y'all
down.
know I'm a pretty big fan of just rustic cooking, right? And not getting too crazy with anything. So we're going to take this bowl and we're just going to hack up some olives and throw it in there.
Wait, yeah, this is a long video. I'm sorry. Sorry,
Here's about the pile I'm starting
there you
with.
go. We'll go 30 minutes.
I'd say that's close to half of a cup, maybe a little bit more. Not too worried about it. And I'm just going to use these as the salty element of this vinaigrette, right? Before we chopped up all that herbs and then we put a bunch of salt on it and intentionally tried to blow up those cell walls, right? Well, this time we're using the olives, which come packed in a very salty brine, as the salty element of this. Kalamata.
She's getting some lunch.
Easy to work with because they come pitted a lot of times. You can get them at the West Side Market. You can get them at Dave's. You can get small jars of them. They'll also usually have them on the olive bar or the salad bar area. We can fill up a little pint container of them, no worries.
Check it out.
So you don't have to commit to getting a ton of them. Oh, is that turnip?
It's a turnip. Don't want that.
So I'll get my olives in there. Don't know where that table's been, so we're going to chuck those. And I like a little bit of heat in this vinaigrette, okay? So we're not going to go with a lot of salt, but I am going to go with a lot of chili flakes.
Oh boy.
There you go. So
Chili.
that's probably about half
That's okay.
teaspoon maybe in there. And for red chili flakes, that's a lot. So we don't really need a lot more than that. Once again, we're going to go back in with some roasted garlic. If you were going to use raw garlic instead of roasted garlic, do it about a quarter of what I just put in there. So there's like maybe 15 cloves of roasted garlic in there. I would do maybe 3 to 5 cloves of regular garlic. I like a lot of garlic, so when I'm making a vinaigrette, I usually go 1 clove of garlic per person that's eating that salad. Unless I'm doing it for my kids, I'll dial it back a little bit. Yeah, man. Oh, the small ones can go in whole. Don't worry about it. So, we got some roasted garlic in there. Where's the stuff? Where's the stuff? So, how long do you roast it? About
I don't know if you want to stay.
in a pan just covered with oil for, I would say 40 minutes. Olive oil, vegetable oil, really doesn't matter. Until you can pull a clove out and just smash it with your fingers, or just take bees love movement. So if you can take a fork and just with no pressure push a fork through a clove, you're good to go. Yeah. As soon as it starts to turn dark, like starts to brown up, you've gone too far. It's not the end of the world, but you don't want to go that far.
Yeah, would that be good if you're making like sandwiches and stuff like that? To do that, roast it first, then mix it in there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably
Yeah,
make it taste even better, right?
and make sure you grab all your little tails like that. Pitch those. So a way to do a nice roasted garlic flavor on a burger, I don't like to mix a lot of stuff into the meat when I do a burger, but if you make roasted garlic, pour the oil off of it after it's cooled down and it's nice and soft, and then smash it up with a fork. Man, you can use that instead of mayonnaise, and it's beautiful. Just spread it on the bun. Oh, it's got a ton of deep flavor to it. It's really good. Spice Kitchen bar? Yeah, I don't like to mix it into the meat, I was saying, because it makes the meat of the burger a little bit too loose, like it likes to fall apart on the grill.
That's what you mix it in there.
No, I don't like to mix it in. I just like to make a spread and use it as mayonnaise at the end.
Okay.
Yeah. Was the bug in the bowl?
Right there on the side, on the outside.
Oh, look at it. All right, so we got olives, we got garlic. On this one, I want to do a straight just basil. Is the only herb I want to use on it.
Well, this is nothing. Ooh, shoot.
So reason being,
Almost
I want
looking at.
to know different herbs and the different qualities of them. So we don't want to overlap any of the herbs that we have in that
Really?
salted vinaigrette. This is going to be a real simple one with just even less ingredients. But basil being the thing that we're using up a lot of right now because we're constantly trying to pinch those heads back. You know what I mean? Keep it from going to seed. And when we do that, we end up with a ton of tops that find a great home in these vinaigrettes. Also, we like to keep the basil at spice. We like to keep it at room temperature because it holds a hell of a lot longer. As soon as you start putting it in and out of the fridge, man, it just starts going black.
Boy, oh
real
boy.
easy.
Hopefully, we'll just be, you know.
Sorry. So I just got a pile of basil here. I'm going to come across it.
It'll just be, I think, I break later than usual.
Ribbons, because you're basically cutting little ribbon strips of that at your first chop, and then just kind of come across it a little rough. This dude's already almost done with these radishes here. That's good. All right, so I got.
I want to do it. I want to do it. Careful, careful.
Now, we've got two different acids to pick from here, right? We just did a vinaigrette using cider vinegar, so I also brought rice wine vinegar, and I also brought champagne vinegar. Let's take a vote. All of you for rice wine, hands up. 3. All of you for champagne vinegar, hands up. Champagne it is.
Sorry. Sorry. It is.
No, there's no alcohol in there.
Champagne vinegar.
Okay, that's a great question.
Champagne for your campaign, for our campaign. Oh, yes, and the porta potty guy too. That's very nice.
Grape juice starts champagne, right?
Champagne for a
champagne is
campaign.
fermenting.
Do the thing.
Takes
That's
grape
funny.
juice and
What's
heats
funny?
all the sugar in the juice and turns it into alcohol. Well, then the next step past that is vinegar. If that yeast is left in there and continues to eat and eat and eat and eat, eventually it crosses over from alcohol into vinegar, right? That's when that yeast has eaten pretty much every damn thing available in there. And that's where you're getting that real nice sour note. So much so, at Spice, we'll take the end of our kegs of beer and the end of our cider and wine, pour it into a vat, and then let a mother, which is the culture for a vinegar, float in there, and then it turns that beer into vinegar, so we're not throwing anything away. Which is the key to a restaurant, because there is no money to be made in this business.
Oh, there's a lot, actually. Actually, there's a lot. You gotta look for it. But you gotta look for it. Actually, there's a lot, but you gotta look for it. We're going to spend money to be made, but a lot of money is spent.
We do want a little bit of sweetness.
So that was it.
Put all those into that container and we're good to go. Give me a spoon out of that thing. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, sir. So we do want a little bit of sweetness in here, even though the roasted garlic has a little sweetness to it. I'm a big proponent of honey. Helps you fight allergies in your neighborhood if you're eating local honey and
You
stuff
got
like
one
that.
big piece in there that you ain't cut up from.
What's that? Oh yeah, that's good. That's a nice crunch for somebody. It's a gift.
Alright, show you that.
Present.
I can see that.
Boy.
So we want to get a little bit of sweetness in there. The reason being, and even, you know, if you're on a low sugar diet or something like that,
That does
totally
smell
understandable.
good.
However, I'm a chef. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I'm a chef, so I concentrate on flavor profiles, right? The areas of your tongue that can appreciate flavors, you've got 5 different palates on, or 5 different areas of your palate on your tongue. You got sweet, salty, what else? Savory, sour,
Bitter.
bitter. Thank you. So all these different areas. When you're hitting all those different regions of your tongue, that's when you're eating something you're like, wow, this is awesome. Because it's hitting all those different regions, right? When you're sitting there like sucking on sweet tarts or something like that, it's just sweet. It's not satisfying your palate in any other ways. All right.
That's 30 minutes. We'll check it out. See it.
Who wants to mix on this?
Check it out on YouTube and DeviantArt, especially my Hero Force Neo and DeviantArt, and on YouTube, Sorrows Until the End Time. Yeah, we'll be back in a second.